Dwayne Johnson, more commonly known as The Rock, is a professional wrestler and actor. His cousins in WWE include Rikishi, Omega, Yokozuna, and Nia Jax. Rikishi was one of the first cousins of The Rock to join the wrestling business. He had a long career with the company, winning several championships. Omega was another of The Rock's cousins. He was known for his extreme in-ring style and was part of several popular storylines. Yokozuna was a big man wrestler who was also one of The Rock's cousins in WWE. He held several championships and faced some of the top wrestlers in the company. Nia Jax is currently the only active female member of The Rock's cousin in WWE. She has had an unsuccessful career, winning multiple championships. Rikishi, Omega, and Yokozuna were all part of The Rock's family in the wrestling business, and they each had a role to play in some of the major storylines of the time. Rikishi was known for his high energy and entertaining performance style, and he was involved in some of the biggest feuds of the era. Omega was a presence in the wrestling business as he was a member of The Rock's family, and he was known for his intense style that made him intimidating to opponents. Yokozuna was the big man of The Rock's family, and he was a dominant force in the ring at the time. He held multiple championships and faced some of the top wrestlers of the era. Nia Jax has been a triple champion in WWE, and she has been part of some of the biggest storylines in the company. She is currently the only female member of The Rock's family in WWE. Rikishi was The Rock's cousin in the early 2000s, and he was involved in some of the biggest storylines of the time, such as the rivalry with Stone Cold Steve Austin. Omega was one of the most intense wrestlers in The Rock's family, and he was known for his vicious in-ring style that made him a fan favorite. Yokozuna was a big man wrestler who was part of The Rock's family, and he was a big presence in the company and held multiple championships throughout his career. Nia Jax is the only active female in The Rock's family in WWE, and she has been involved in some of the biggest storylines in recent years. Rikishi was one of the most entertaining wrestlers of the era, and his high-energy matches made him a fan favorite. He was part of some of the most iconic storylines in WWE history. Omega was one of the most intimidating members of The Rock's family, and his in-ring style was often feared by opponents. He was involved in many feuds over the years. Yokozuna was the big man wrestler of The Rock's family, and he was a dominant force in the ring, holding multiple championships during his career as well as feuding with some of the top names in the company. Nia Jax is currently the only active female member of The Rock's family in WWE, and she has had an impressive career, winning multiple championships. Rikishi was one of the first members of The Rock's family to join the wrestling business, and he had a long career in the company. His 619 moonsault and stink face was part of his signature moves. Omega was another member of The Rock's family who was part of the wrestling business. His style was intense, and he was often feared by opponents. He held several mid-card championships. Yokozuna was the big man of the Rock's family, and he held multiple championships and faced some of the top names in the company. He was a huge presence in the wrestling business. Nia Jax is the only active female member of the Rock's family in WWE, and she has been part of some of the biggest storylines in the company. She has had an impressive career, winning multiple championships. Rikishi was a part of the Rock's family, and he was involved in some of the biggest storylines in the company, such as the rivalry with Stone Cold Steve Austin. He was also an entertaining wrestler known for his high-energy matches. Dwayne was another of the Rock's cousins who made an impact in WWE. His aggressive in-ring style was feared by opponents, and he was involved in some memorable feuds. Yokozuna was a big man wrestler, and he was part of the Rock's family in WWE. He was a dominant force in the ring and held multiple championships during his career.